Hello everybody, it's Nana Murray in Quebec City. I am just sitting out in my rocking chair on my porch and watching life go by. There's a couple of airplanes and helicopters, a couple of people walking by. Okay, I can see what's going on in the media, not only in regular mainstream, but all of BitChute and every bit of the news. And in the near-death experience programs, they're being taken over by, the ones that have been leading the narrative since the scriptures. They're the same people. And again, I'm not gonna, same people. The one I saw yesterday, a woman said she had a near-death experience and she saw herself as an insect. But it was her whole demeanor and her whole mocking that I just think they bring in partial truths, and you can't say anything because you had a near-death experience, But you're gonna find the same bullshit everywhere. Even the accident in Manitoba. Yeah. Isn't it sad that that was a busload of Jewish people from a residential home? And it don't get much worse than that, poor things. And then Chris Sky, another Jewish guy who's over there in Ottawa running for some political position, and all his hardships. It's all over the media. The hardships of the Jews. So it's upsetting, because when you want to connect with people and then you find out that they're part of it, it's hard. I wish I could figure out, because I do believe every person born is born of Christ. It must be in the upbringing where they believe they're chosen and they really have taken over our lives. I've decided that I was curious about Quebec. Like, it seems separate from Canada. The rest of the Canadian provinces is totally different here. Very civil servant here. Very military here. And it's got a lot in common with America. They even have a bank in Quebec. They don't have anywhere else in Canada, but they have in America. Desjardins. It's a credit union. So I feel with the New World Order they're planning here for us, it's going to be divided up with Quebec, with America, and then the rest of the Crown provinces go with Australia and UK, because Quebec's not going to go with the Crown. Okay, I can just tell you that right now. They're not going with the Crown. So as our New World Order unfolds, we're going to have some devastating tragedies for people all around Canada and America. Weather, it's all war in the weather too. It's all manipulated. It seems to me they're not killing people so much as making them suffer. That's part of the sacrifice. The more you're in terror and the more you're in fear and the more you suffer, the more power they have. So I said that between the 14th of June and the 28th of June are going to be, so it's going to really start unfolding now. And it has already. Like in British Columbia, they got fake snow going on in June. And they got lightning coming tonight. All of those fires starting all at once. One thing I haven't mentioned a lot about recently is the vibration I feel beneath my feet and beneath me when I'm lying in bed. I feel it vibrating, and I have since the Beings of Light came in 2016. And I couldn't figure out why. Why does it feel like the earth is vibrating? And all the time for me. And then last night I was lying in bed, and there it was, rumbling away, the earth beneath me. Like, why? I wonder why I feel that and nobody else feels that. And it came to me, my vibration. My vibration might be higher than I think. Lately I've been talking to my soul. We all have a higher soul, a higher part of us. And I'm getting to know that part of me. And I couldn't, throughout these last several years, I've done things that defy me, like me. Like, I can't do that. I can't do that. But I'm doing that, you know? And when I think I have nothing left inside of me, when I'm broken completely, and then I wake up in the morning and I see everything's clean and put in place and there's nothing out of sorts. And I did that. I keep my place like that. But it's kind of hard to explain. I don't know how I do that. Let's put it that way. Because I am a broken woman. And there is no doubt about it. My lower self is broken. And I don't see a lot of hope or future here on earth at all. And that's pretty negative. My mother said I was negative. She hasn't seen me negative. Yeah, I'm negative about it. And I don't have faith or hope in people because they're all lobotomized. It's not that I don't have hope and faith that everybody's Christ. I know you are. But you're lobotomized, or you're raised on cartoons, or you're groomed with a family to think you're chosen. And that's the crux of everything. It's how we're raised. The imagination is our manifester. And the more you water that imagination, the more you water fantasies, and the more you get onto a wrong trek of thought, the more real it'll be. But nothing's real, really, except our love at the end of the day. But I can't get my thoughts away from the children, and that's why I'm negative. To see children being raised in such terror all the time. You know, anything on TV is terrorizing. Children don't know the difference between fantasy and reality. You know, we don't care. We just put them in front of anything as if it's a real monster, for Christ's sakes. They think it is a real monster. And they think their parents are monsters until they begin to adapt and become part of it. Yeah. But I picked this life, guys. And I had a hypnosis session with Dr. Brian Weiss. He wrote Many Lives, Many Masters. By the way, he's Jewish duper. He's a Jewish duper. And of course, he's a doctor and read at Yale and all the fancy schools. Wrote the book on reincarnation when he had a patient named Catherine who was revealing to him her past lives in hypnosis. But it was so full of fantasy. Now that I look back, I know he's a duper. But I went down to a conference of his in Seattle, and he did a group hypnosis thing for past life regression. And It didn't work on me. So I went up to him after when he was signing books. I said, it didn't work for me. And this was before the beings of light came. I was already involved in the afterlife and reincarnation because of the spirit of Trevor being around. I wanted answers. So Dr. Reese was sitting there and his blue, steel, cold eyes looked at me. And he said, it'll come to you in a dream. My past life thing, he said. So whether or not he's got magic in him or not, I don't know. But 1 month later, I had the dream. And I was following my mother, a little girl. She was a little girl at the time, 10 years old, running up a road. I intuitively knew to be North Vancouver. And she ran into her house. I saw my great-grandfather, Thomas, there, sitting on an easy chair. He's my spirit guide now. And I saw her mother, my mother's mother, standing by a purse and a hook she was putting her purse on. I didn't know her. She died when I was 9 months old. And then flash, I was in this space, and it was dark, but you could still see. It was blue, bluish black. And I saw 4 blue beings, and it was they looked like, very smooth costumes, blue beings. It's so hard. The best way to describe these 4 beings in front of me were cartoons without heads. They were suits. And just standing there. And I was behind them. And they were facing the other direction. And I heard a male voice, who I now know to be my father, say, who will bear the brunt of her anger. And that was referring to the little girl I had followed into her house. Who will bear the brunt of her anger. And then the second blue being to the right, raised her hand. And that would have been Cheryl Ann Grosclose. Me. I put my spirit into that suit after she agreed to bearing the brunt. So, see the confusion there? I did by picking her body, I guess. But Cheryl Ann Grosclose first agreed to bear the brunt of her mother's anger. And I went into her spirit, or into her body. And I have since figured out that we all are choosing our lives and our roles in what is likely a reincarnation trap, because I have sensed that we are hijacked emotionally. Our right brains are our emotional part of us. It's a love part of us. It's a Christ part of us. It's gone, guys. We don't feel it here. It's gone. It's in a movie. And it's got things to do, places to go, people to see. And they're not thinking at all about what the media is doing to their minds or their children's minds, let alone education. What that did to us. It's not just now. I hope you're not sitting there going, no, well, I had it lucky. No, you didn't. We've been conditioned for 120 years with media. Our brains are programmed for media. Yeah, it looks like some construction's going to start, so I'm going to close up, finish I got a little drinky poo here of a mocktail of orange juice and lemon juice, cranberry juice, all sorts of things. And just enjoying my day, because that's what I recommend to everybody, is take each moment It's every moment that counts, nothing else. You know, enjoying the moments, appreciating it really, not being grateful, but appreciating everything. Like everything earthly, I appreciate. And I appreciate that we need this, guys. This bad news I've just been giving you, all this negativity, is good. We need it. We have to show the world that this is the way it is, and they have to find out. There's only one way to find out, and that's the hard way. And that's through war. And that's what they're planning, and grids going down. It's just make it as hard as possible. But hang in there. And I'm not worrying about tomorrow. It's today. That's what I have. And acceptance. And I have an appreciation that these Satanists are not ruling the world. God is. And that's probably why it must come to an end. Because Christ is leaving the building. It's becoming godless. I've noticed on television there are many, many people without beams in their eyes acting, or giving the media, or being in commercials. They don't have beams in their eyes. They don't have lights in their eyes. I don't even know how they're made. But they're not of Christ. And they want an artificial world with clone people, artificial people. Well, it's not going to last long. It's not going to last very long at all. A couple of generations, maybe, if that. As the stars leave, they're going to be left here. The people that are committed to this program, the alpha people, are going to be in hell. But you know what? The only thing I can imagine concerning my family and humanity who are leaving themselves in hell because of their filthy imaginations is that everybody, we are our ancestors. You see, that's why Dr. Brian Reese is such a joke. Because he was talking many lives, many masters. No, it's the same masters. It's the same tribe. And there's something orange going on. I am seeing orange everywhere in commercials and in children's books and in BitChute media. They're pushing this orange agenda, and it's just a mocking. There's something, Agent Orange or something. It's a chemical. And they're constantly bringing up orange. And then my feelings about these redheads and Donald Trump and the Israel connection. They're trying to build a third temple for their Antichrist guy there. I think they want to pick Donald Trump. I think Obama's out of the picture because it's exposed that his wife is a man. So they're beefing up Donald Trump. I just saw today that he's a genius in one of the... Yeah, they're talking about what a genius he is. Whatever they put out there is the opposite, because I saw a meme with his IQ on it, and it was somebody from his past who exposed that he had an extremely low IQ. And that makes perfect sense because his vocabulary is so low. And if you notice now, every time he talks, he's talking to a teleprompter. He's got his whole family in Israel just waiting for the end of America. So they can rule the world from there, and maybe Ukraine, I don't know. They're just devastating truth. So who knows, really? Just be careful, and don't buy into anything, not even my story. Buy into your own story and touch base with your feelings and maybe your higher self. Maybe you've noticed things that you do and you don't know why you do them. My guide says it's on purpose. You're doing it on purpose. And trust your spirit above everything. Trust your spirit above ego. Above everything you learned here, trust your spirit. Thanks, everybody.